the beginning, Hidetora announces that he's like handing over his kingdom, his oldest son gonna inherit everything. He tells that the metaphor of the arrows or whatever it was. A single arrow is easily broken, but 3 arrows together are not. If you unite your forces, whenever Taro is in trouble, House of Ichimonji will be safe. Very quick side tangent on this. Jake Sullivan, National Security Advisor for Biden, did this very, very rare profile interview. And instead of doing it at like the New Yorker or the New York Times or something where he would get asked real questions, he did it with fucking Wired magazine. And the very opening paragraph of the profile interview, they're in Jake's office. He's showing the reporter like tchotchkes on his bookshelf or whatever, including this little trophy thing of like the 3 arrows together. The reporter writes that Jake is telling him this story about ancient Japanese samurai proverb about 3 arrows being stronger. He basically repeats what Hidetora says. The context, though, the reason why this is in the profile is because at that moment, Jake said that metaphor is what they were telling the Netherlands and telling Japan in order to get them to join an economic containment coalition against China on semiconductors. And so there's 2 things about this that are fucking bananas. Like, one, this is like classic DC where it's like you have unearned knowledge. So like this arrow proverb is like actually traceable to Mori Motonari from real life feudal period in Japan. So he was thought to have said this, but Jake Sullivan is not a samurai history buff. You know, there's no fucking way that he was studying feudal Japan and came across this metaphor. He saw this movie, you know, but he passes it off.
But it's also perfect because the whole point of this movie is that like, that's what like those in power that have done committed all this horror, this is what they tell themselves about, like, we can let bygones be bygones and finally like have a, you know, peace in our time moment. And of course, Saburo, who's the third brother, who basically was calling him out, being like, this isn't going to work. And in the way he actually breaks the 3 arrows with his kneecap. Because the others are trying to break it with their hands, and then he just brings it to his knee and breaks it, and then he says, this is what's going to happen. Basically, the whole point is that if you've committed all these horrors, if you've victimized all these people, you're not going to have a bright future, or your kids or your grandkids are not going to have a bright future. Like, you didn't earn it, you didn't deserve it, and in fact, you're going to get something far worse.
I mean, I'm sure it was actually from a staffer. So a staffer saw the movie, told Jake that that's how things really work in DC, you know? Also, the metaphor is about defense. Like, Hidetora is explicitly being like, if you're united when you're attacked, then you will be resilient. The semiconductor shit with China is an offensive campaign, you know? Like, it's if anyone's being attacked here, it's like the West and Japan attacking China, you know? And it's like only possible to make this kind of reading of ancient proverb shit if you assume you're always operating with defensive intentions. You're always the good guy, you know, and the bad things out there are always against you, you know?
That is the story that people tell themselves in DC, though, right? It's like, I'm sure somehow they've even told themselves the story about the chip war, that somehow this is defensive. Yeah, this is to prevent. China's going to come for us anyways. We need to prevent them from having the most advanced technology that they'll use for the military. So this is so we need to put up this purely defensive, small yard high fence.